Are you ready to stop the self sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. Do you know what a ask hole is? Someone who will ask your opinion, ask for ideas. They'll pretend that they want assistance for their next level of achievement or to help them get out of a crisis that has been created. But that's not really their agenda. What they want to do is entangle you in their problem. See, there's a couple of different ways that you can respond to an asshole. And this first one is not you, where you're always trying to control them. You're always telling them what to do. You want to be able to run the details of their life. And I already know that's not you, because you attract what you are, not what you want. And if you've been part of this podcast for a while, then this does not, the reason why you keep coming back is this does not describe you. In fact, you're what I call a legacy leader, and not the type of legacy that you leave after you're gone. You live your legacy, but that leadership is still in seed form. It hasn't been put into the correct environment in order to grow. Because the environment that you were programmed and conditioned to do was to lead other people in their lives, not to manage them, not to control them, but to lead them. Unfortunately, you were programmed to do it in such a way where it continues to cause you pain. Go back to the beginning of this month of August, and I talked about how you experienced a threshold event where you were pushed into something you did not have the ability to handle. And then you had to take on this leadership role, but in a way where it is very dysfunctional. And an asshole knows this because they know you're type 2. And that second type is you tell people what to do. You give them the ability to do it. And then you go off and you do your own thing, figuring that they should be mature enough to be able to make the decisions in their own life on how to move forward. But that's not what happens. They go into denial. They avoid it. They play the victim. And then they bring you back in because they've created such a mess that you are now somehow entangled in it, and you've got to be the one to get it all sorted out. You are still paying the price for someone else's bad behavior. Not because you want to. You keep trying to create the space for them to step up. And instead, they wait till it hits crisis, and then they scream out for you, and you're peeking out from underneath the boulder you're already attempting to carry that is nothing but pain after bad decision, after having to rescue somebody again and again and again. You peek out from underneath that going, it's one more I got to do. It's not your fault. This all goes back to an experience you had where you did not have the ability to say, no, this is not healthy. And instead, you were trained to continue this pattern. Let's start interrupting it today. So, entanglement. Entanglement is when you partner with somebody and they treat you as a commodity, not as a person. See, they take that experience with you and they go from relational, which is actually very healthy, where you look at how to bring out the best parts of each other and how to problem solve. When someone's in a challenge, you can definitely assist them in problem solving. But the other person is not doing that. No. What they're doing is they're treating you like a transaction. Not it's not a relationship with you, it's a transaction, and you're a commodity to be used for their benefit. Now, this means that they had to go through something at some point that conditioned and trained them to do that. All right. That's not your responsibility. What they think of you and their past problems are not what you should be dealing with. You should be giving them the assistance, partnering them with a relationship in an engagement way. But the only way that can happen is when there are consequences that they have to experience instead of you continuing to go in, save them, and then you pay the price. I was talking to one of my clients earlier today, and she had a friend she reached out to, said, hey, tomorrow's supposed to be a really nice day. What do you think about us getting together and having a good time? And the friend never got back to her. And so she started making excuses for the friend. Well, she's busy, she's got kids, other things are happening. And so it was a Saturday morning she had reached out. She didn't hear anything until Monday morning. And the friend said, oh, sorry, I thought I had already responded to this. Yeah. And so she felt like that she was last on the list with her friend. Well, we train people how to treat us. And she had trained her friend that it was okay to diss her, disrespect, dishonor. And her friend sees her as a commodity, that it's a transaction. And whenever it's a transaction, you are constantly having to earn your worth by buying the attention of the other person through rescuing them, showing up when they don't have anybody else to do it for them, or that there's no one there to save them. So you have to start drawing boundaries. Now, to draw boundaries, we have to look at the difference between disassociation and detachment. By the way, if you want to go deeper into this, I have got a training that I am offering, but the only way you can get it is if you've worked with me this month of August. And the training is how to soothe yourself without self-sabotage, how to make decisions based on your destiny pulling you forward instead of the decisions that are going to be around someone else's drama, and that's the level we're working on this week. Then how to experience your worth without giving yourself away. And then the last one is how to love without hurting yourself. Now, when we get into how to experience your worth without giving yourself away, you already had to have worked on this level with the detachment instead of disassociation. Because disassociation is where you do not have boundaries. You don't have a process or a system that says, when they do this, this is how I'm going to respond instead of reacting. And well, let me share with you, reactions are based on past pain. Responses are based on future impact. And you've already programmed your very powerful mind that the responses are going to lead you to a goal or a dream that you want to turn into reality. That's the reason why you have boundaries, is because they are containers for your energy. Instead of your energy oozing out all over the place because you're dealing with someone else's drama. Instead, you've got it in one fixed resource that then you can pull from for your progress. But right now, your mind is putting it out into everybody else's life. Okay, so time for you to begin to look at your boundaries. Say, I'm going to, instead of disassociating and making excuses and showing up as a rescuer, I'm just going to detach from that outcome and instead choose where I want to go. But all of that is going to be based on you recognizing that they continue to entangle you for their benefit. If I can assist you with this, 1-636-699-7791. Again, 1-636-699-7791.